What I object to is to Wisconsin Manufacturers and Commerce scouring the state to find someone who is so clearly pro-business and pro-WMC that they can put millions of dollars into that person's campaign so that when we stand before the court, we know how one of those justices will vote. Now that makes it a farce, and just imagine, if you will, if you're standing there with me before the court and your client says to you, how much did that other team over there contribute to the court? And I say, well, I don't know, I think at $250,000 according to McCabe. How much did you give? Well, I gave $250. Immediately that person's going to think they don't have a chance. And what can be more damaging to democracy than to have people doubt the integrity of our courts?
The People's Legislature has already had a big impact on what's going on in this building. I want to remind you, some of you were here then, and some of you weren't, but back in 2006, a whole bunch of you were here on the day that the Assembly killed our ethics reform bill, which was one of the priorities that was established at the very first People's Legislature in January of 2005. And there were a bunch of people here on the very day that they decided to kill that bill. But the People's Legislature didn't stop fighting for that bill, and we weren't even done licking our wounds. And 9 months after they killed that bill, they were scurrying into special session to pass that bill, and the governor signed it into law. And you all won your very first victory when we got a landmark ethics reform bill passed. And, you know, I know that many of you are feeling downhearted about the current state of our politics. I know you're feeling frustrated about what's going on in this building. But I want you to remember that as we've continued to fight, this People's Legislature is making a difference in this building. Because after that ethics reform bill was passed, keep in mind that we then brought the People's Legislature back not too long ago, and many of you were there banging pots and pans out in front of the state capitol, asking for a special session on campaign finance reform. And you banged those pots and pans, but then you followed up, delivering hundreds and hundreds of petitions to the governor's office, and he finally relented and he called that special session. And we are still in that special session. That special session is not done. It can conceivably continue through the end of this year, if necessary, until the legislature musters the political will to do what the public clearly wants done, and that's act on campaign finance reform.